Rise of the Griots WordCast.
Take me like comforting hands, warm, black, sincere, strong to your face, and knowing I am undeniably yours, wipe your tears, and knowing I know your strength. Soothe your brow. No heavy weight, no wrinkles, no sweat. Know me. I am Black Soul. Take me. Use me like an ointment. I shall pour over your wounds. The wounds of the flesh and the wounds of the mind. The slow healing wounds of Babylon's terrible torture. Use me. I am not magic, not a miracle, but I bring determination. I focus your consciousness onto our goal. I motivate your unrelenting struggle. I energize the feeling spirit that the brutalities endured on our way will not have been in vain. Believe in me. I am blackness. I am identity. Take me. With the joy of knowing that I was always there, at your side, in your heart, and shout me like a song of defiance from the high hill, from the 58th balcony. Amplify me to uncountable wattage. Make Babylon tremble, for I shall not be denied. Study me. I am black history. I am black culture. Know me. For I am your future. I watered the flower of your past. I was your song of unity. But now that you are far flung, you are withered and dismembered. But you shall bloom again, and you are not denied. For I am still your song of unity, and I am on the horizon of that far look in your eye. I am Chem, I am Kush, I am Meroe, I Ethiopia, I Sangai, I Ghana, I Mali, I Monomotapa, I Zimbabwe, I Alkebulan, I am Africa, I'm Africa. Take me with the knowledge that I am undeniably yours, and free me.
Tenda Mwari, Kudzaimuzu Mukuru Hotep, Uhuru, Uncle Jasaneb, Rastafari, African power for all African people. Peace and blessings, greetings and welcome to the first ever edition of the Rise of the Griots WordCast. Yes, indeed, family, thank you for joining me for this inaugural edition of this podcast where we expose ourselves, each other, to the griot tradition, the words art tradition of the African diaspora. I'm looking forward to going on this journey with you all. It's going to be a magnificent one because we've got so much work and a powerful legacy across the African world to delve into and expound upon and illuminate, family. Do you know what I'm saying? What you just heard was a piece by the name of Song of the Motherland. Song of the Motherland by a great, great, great words artist. A great words artist by the name of Anum Iyapo. Or should I say, formerly known as Anum Iyapo. Nowadays, he prefers to go by the name of Ankh Anum. Yeah, Ankh Anum. I'm going to refer to him as Anum Iyapo for the predominance of this particular edition, simply because that's how he was known when he did these works. Yeah, so if anybody wants to research that, you'll find, his name and the spelling in all the descriptions associated with this episode, family. But yeah, I'm beginning with Uncle Anum, because I know this man personally. Because he was one of the first people that really exposed me to spoken word artistry, poetry, performance poetry, and all these things. I grew up watching this man perform, and his album, upon which this particular piece is featured, is one of the main albums that I was exposed to as a baby. In fact, to the extent that one of the lines in one of the pieces is "Africa must be free," and according to my dad, my first cohesive sentence that I ever said was "Africa must be free." And that was partly due to the influence of listening to Uncle Anum and his album over and over again, because my dad used to play it to me. And as them said, sheep not bring goat, kings and queens, because this is one of the things that I play to my son right now, you know what I mean? So I just say it go. But yeah, as well, it's important for me to say, obviously, I was raised in the Pan-African conscious community in the UK. And so Uncle Anum Iyapo was one of the main poets, that featured on that scene. He is also a graphic designer, so when you see his album art and the artwork for his book, he designed all these things, and he was a member of an organization by the name of Obala. Yeah, Obala is the Organization of Black Arts Advancement and Leisure/Stroke Learning Activities. Yeah, at one point it was leisure activities, and then apparently the name evolved into learning activities. And one of the founding members, and possibly the most noted member, because he was the director, is a man by the name of ShakaRa. And in a future, definitely in a future Rise of the Griots WordCast, we're going to go into ShakaRa and some of his works, as well as other members of Obala. Yeah. Now, again, Obala is an acronym, the Organization for Black Arts Advancement and Leisure/Stroke Learning Activities. However, Obala is also the name of a rulership system among the Yoruba people. Yeah, Obala in Yoruba is mighty king or senior king, and I think it's that the tear down from the ultimate kind of rulership body. So this operates on a more local, regional level within certain clans among the Yoruba people. Yeah, so I have no idea whether the influence of the name partly came from the name Obala, the title of Obala from the Yoruba, and they made an acronym out of it. I don't know, but knowing the conscious community over here, the African-centered community over here, that's entirely possible. So I'm just throwing that out there. Hopefully one day I'll be able to confirm or refute that particular claim, yeah? But suffice to say that Obala ran a thing called the Black Arts Gallery, yeah? And featured a lot of different arts from the African diaspora. And when I say the African diaspora, I mean the African diaspora throughout the 70s and the 80s primarily. So we're not just talking about Africans in the UK now, we're talking about Africans all over the world. They used to commission art pieces, yeah? For example, one of their art pieces in the 1980s was by a brother by the name of David Mutambala Mutasa. And that was The Price of Freedom. David Mutambala Mutasa is from Zimbabwe. And in 1988, the Black Art Gallery in the UK featured his art, his sculpting art. And, the 1980s at that time was a hot time because it was a time of serious consciousness raising within the black community over here. But also because the anti-apartheid movement was strong, Zimbabwe had just gotten its independence, which they had fought for militarily and won in 1980. And so, the conscious community over here, the black community in general, and obviously the Pan-African community being at the center of this, was very much politicized around these issues, yeah? And so, as a result of all of this, yeah, like growing up, although there was a Black Arts Gallery, and Obala and other formations of Black Art, yeah, oftentimes man never really had to go to a setting, yeah, that was specifically dedicated to art in order to feast, yeah, upon artistic expression. Because I grew up going to Africa Liberation Day, AAOD, and Kwanzaa celebrations, events that were held by organizations like the Pan-African Congress Movement, PACM, or the All African People's Revolutionary Party, AAPRP, or the Black Unity and Freedom Party, BUFP, or, you know what I'm saying, all these different organizations, and in particular the Pan-African Congress Movement, because they were nationalist Pan-Africanists and therefore they had a more definitive African cultural thrust, yeah, artistic expression was always a primary feature. So I would be listening to Robin Walker, yeah, you know what I'm saying, breaking down some history, or Elder Cecil Gutsmore, or Auntie Affiong, El Affiong, you know what I'm saying, delving into neo-colonialism and the political development of Africa and why we need to be fighting against these puppet leaders on the continent or in the diaspora in the Caribbean or whatever, yeah? And right after following that, you're going to hear some Anum Iyapo breaking it down. Similar, it's the same thing, but in words artistry, or Lioness Chan, or, any number of words artists, kings and queens. So I do appreciate that my upbringing in that sense, in the sense of the fact that the artistic expression was not separate and distinct from the political movements. Yeah, one of the major reggae bands over here in this country was a band called Still Posts. They're still together. What I'm saying was that they're not still together. They still do things, but Still Posts used to perform at Africa Liberation Day, slightly before my time still, because this is mostly in the 70s when they were performing there. But I grew up understanding that, yeah, seeing members of Still Posts and having seen different variations of Still Posts over the years. But they used to be a regular thing at Africa Liberation Day, reggae band coming out of Birmingham, you know what I'm saying? So my point is that the artists during this time were just part of the political social movement, yeah, and contributed to it through their art. They manifested it in their artistic expression, you know what I'm saying? So the Black Arts Gallery featured all kinds of artistic expression, be it, spoken word music, and that kind of expression, but also art. They used to have art exhibitions there and these kinds of things, yeah? And one of the powerful things about, I'm just touching on Obala for a second, because we're going to go into it deeper in a future episode. But one of the powerful things that they did was to release a statement, yeah, on black art. A statement on black art, yeah. And part of it reads, this is like a manifesto, yeah, for what black art should represent in general, but specifically as it relates to the African community in the UK. And a part of it reads, quote, "We believe that black art can and should play a very important role in community education and positive development, and that it is by having their work recognized by the general community that black artists draw their strength. Obala exists, therefore, to stimulate and implement discussion and activity which will bring about the desired close relationship between consciousness, art, and positive community development." And I'm reading this for two reasons. One, because Aunt Anum Iyapo was a member of Obala, and two, because it demonstrates what the purpose of these artists was at this time. They weren't really looking, for necessarily wide mainstream success. They were looking to have a direct impact upon their community. And there's another part of this manifesto where they say that black art must be popular in that it relates to the community. So not popular in that it gets commercial success, but popular in that it speaks to the experiences and relates to the experiences of the community that it is inspired by and that it is serving. Yeah. So you know what I mean? This is all beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And researching this stuff just gives expression to the things that I was experiencing growing up. Yeah, so we're making the point that the Pan-African community had its own arts movements, and from it, independent artistic institutions, yeah, that were able to connect up the African diaspora, were formed. Yeah, and so if you check out Anum Iyapo's SoundCloud, yeah. It says that this album, Song of the Motherland, was released in 1975. Everywhere else, it says 1985. And I'm not sure why that is. But you know, it may have something to do with the fact that he also released a book, yeah, a book by the name but under the title of Man of the Living Woman of Life, yeah, Man of the Living Woman of Life. And that definitely came out in 1985, which is a good year because on the 29th of the 8th month of that year, a beautiful soul by the name of Tafazwa ShakaRa Bandaka was indeed born. But because of the fact that the SoundCloud, I've tended to use the SoundCloud date because he put up the album himself, so he must know when he created it. You know what I'm saying? But one of the key people involved in the formation of this album, I say a couple of the key people. I'm going to first mention, who was then known as Ras Cosmo. And now known as Baba Herukuti, yeah? He was the primary producer, composer of the music on this album. And a sister by the name of Fina, Auntie Fina, who is a member of Lioness Chant, yeah, poetry collective duo called Lioness Chant. And we'll be going into Lioness Chant in a future episode, family. So just giving you a little bit of the background of this thing, you know what I mean? Because it's a seriously powerful legacy. Very, very, very powerful legacy. So, man like me, yeah, grew up, you know what I'm saying, listening to people like Anum Iyapo, listening principally to their works, you know, and reading their works, yeah. And this was my upbringing, you know what I'm saying? So this is a powerful man. And I'm just gonna read now from the blurb at the back of the book, Man of the Living Woman of Life, yeah? Man of the Living Woman of Life, which was his book, as I said, was released in 1985, all right? So, it says, Anum Iyapo was born in Kingston, Jamaica in 1954 and came to England in 1964, where he now lives and works. Man of the Living Woman of Life is his first collection of poetry. It presents a fusion of a rare kind, the artist stroke poet, inseparable in all aspects of artistic, visual, and vocal poet. Inseparable in all aspects of artistic expression. Anum Iyapo is a graphic designer, visual artist, and vocal poet, using African Jamaican rhythms as verbal structures to create a poetry that is equally powerful when spoken or when read. The poems are directed in their message stroke seriousness, dramatic in their structures, original in language, and illuminating in their spiritual, Rastafari, ceremonial, social, political, and Pan-African settings. Man of the Living Woman of Life is a powerful collection of poems, yeah? Man of the Living Woman of Life is also one of the songs that features on the album Song of the Motherland. And in fact, Song of the Motherland is the title track, obviously, yeah, of the album. And so that's what we're going to be delving into today. So the reason why I have chosen this particular piece, yeah, as the inaugural piece of exploration for the rise of the Griots WordCast is because, obviously, as I've already said, it speaks to my own personal history, and it's through artists like Anum Iyapo that I was, you know, connected to the ancient tradition of the griot, the jale, yeah, and how this world of African words art, yeah, and its variations across the African diaspora were opened to me, yeah, growing up in this environment. And Uncle Anum was one of the major people that, you know, was responsible for exposing me to that, including my own father, because he was also a words artist, but a words artist profoundly inspired by a man like Anum Iyapo. And secondly, this particular piece, the piece itself, yeah, it kind of speaks to the reason why I do what I do in terms of profiling artistic expression, in terms of being an artist, in terms of running an event like Rise of the Griots, in terms of now inaugurating a WordCast like the Rise of the Griots WordCast, yeah. This song of the motherland, it brings together the history with the present, with the future. It speaks to the role of culture in a people's life in multidimensional ways, yeah? And so this is the reason why this piece is, you know, the piece of central focus for this edition, all right? So I hope ones and ones appreciate that. So with all that said, family, let me, you know, get into the thing. Let's break it down, you know what I'm saying? And go night, yeah, as we said, all right? So it says, take me like comforting hands, warm, black, sincere, strong to your face, and knowing I am undeniably yours, wipe your tears, and knowing I am now your strength, soothe your brow, no heavy weight, no wrinkles, no sweat, know me, I am black soul, take me. Yeah, this is a powerful opening because it's like it really sets the kind of mother element, the mother principle within the term motherland. Yeah, it's like the mother is coming to you, and the first word is take me. Yeah, it's like a reintroduction. It's like you haven't been acquainted with your mother for quite some time, and now she comes and she's reinforcing you know, who she is. Yeah, but the first principle that she inspires is the principle of comfort, yeah, of healing, of warmth and embrace. Yeah, so like comforting hands, warm, black, sincere, yeah, strong to your face. But like the word strong there is kind of, we don't often associate terms like strong with comfort, yeah, and warmth and these kinds of things. Knowing I am undeniably yours, your mother is yours, yeah, you know what I'm saying? She birthed you. Wipe your tears, and knowing I am now your strength. Soothe your brow, no heavy weight, no wrinkles, no sweat. It's like mother comes and she releases the burden, but she also rejuvenates. Yeah, when it says no wrinkles, no sweat, it's like the exertion, the stress that you've been under for all this time, she has now come to relieve you of and rejuvenate you, bring you into a new state of renewal. Then it says, know me. Yeah, I've reintroduced myself to you now. Now you must know me. I am Black Soul. Take me. Yeah. Now we get this use of the term black. You know, a term that causes many debates, yeah, but we understand that when we said the term black in the context of the Black Power movement, the Pan-African movement, it was a term of power. It was a term of pride. And we understood, we began to learn about the significance of the color black in many different African cultures. Firstly, beginning with the spirituality of the ancient Kemetu, you know what I'm saying? Understanding that Asa, we were taught, was referred to as the Lord of the perfect black, yeah, the Lord of the perfect black, yeah? And so the blackness of Asa was symbolic of his supreme, the expression of his supreme will, yeah, the Lord of the perfect black, because he governed the world of the living in that sense, yeah. He presided over the sustainability of creation in that respect, yeah. And so the Lord of the perfect black, you know, and you know, we learned that there are significances to the color black in different traditions, like the Yoruba, the Orisha tradition. For example, Eshu, the color black is associated with the deity, the Orisha Eshu, and Eshu is the one who, the divinity who carries the messages between the world of the living and the physical world and the spiritual world. You know what I'm saying? And so this black, yeah, we began to see a lot of pride and dignity in, and, you know, symbolic of a lot of power and strength. And so we began to see that strength in ourselves. And so that's what all that says to me, kings and queens. You know what I mean? Moving on. Use me. We're kind of delving more into this healing energy. Use me like an ointment. I shall pour over your wounds, the wounds of the flesh and the wounds of the mind. Yeah. So understand that there's two levels to these wounds. You know, there's the physical. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, the physical wounds and the wounds of the mind. Yeah. So we're dealing with this multidimensional energy. Yeah. The slow healing wounds of Babylon's terrible torture. Use me. I am not magic. Yeah, we're not dealing to no spookism right now, you know. Yeah, there's no spooky business that go on around here, you know. You know what I'm saying? It's not a fantasy. Yeah. I am not magic, not a miracle, but I bring determination. This idea of not being a miracle is particularly important. That word that he uses, miracle. I am not magic, not a miracle. And there's a few ways one could break that down, you know. There's a few ways one could break that down. And in a sense, first of all, looking at the word magic, yeah, and, you know, synonyms to the word magic as associated with depictions of African culture, words like witch doctor, witchcraft, and fetish, yeah, and these kinds of things. All right, and I don't know this for sure, but when I read that, that's what speaks to me in the sense of he's dispelling that particular myth, that particular perception, that particular imposition on African culture, yes, on African people, that we are devoted to witchcraft and fetish, yeah, unsophisticated forms of spiritual and social organization. All right, so we don't understand science, so we delve into magic. Yeah, I am not magic. This is the song of the motherland, you know. This is the song of the motherland, and the motherland is Africa. Yeah, motherland Africa, singing a song, yeah, to us. I am not magic, not a miracle. Now, the miracle can relate to the religious traditions that we were indoctrinated into, that we're taught to wait for supernatural miracles to occur via the supreme deity or prophets or even children of the supreme deity. So our salvation, our liberation, therefore comes through waiting or for the sweet by and by, yeah, and them kind of things there, or for some supernatural entity to come and perform miracles in our life. We're waiting for God, the Most High, to solve our problems for us, yeah. So in a sense, it's kind of dispelling both of those things. The idea that our culture is reliant upon magic and mysticism, yeah, in the derisive sense of the term. In the untangible, the intangible sense of the term, and the idea that our salvation is reliant upon miracles that's taught to us by our oppressors. Yeah, you know what I mean? Powerful juxtaposition right there. Use me. I am not magic, not a miracle, but I bring determination. Determination is a human quality. Yeah, I am not magic, not a miracle, but I bring determination. So in a sense, magic and miracle disempowers you of your own agency, the knowledge of your own agency. Determination kind of reinstills that knowledge of your own agency within you. Determination is what inspires you to do, yeah, to be committed to something, yeah. So after dispelling those myths, yeah, Motherland brings determination. I focus your consciousness onto our goal. I focus your consciousness onto our goal. After bringing determination, it's like Motherland now is reintroducing herself to us. Mother is reintroducing herself to us. And through our knowledge of who she is, yeah, this begins to shape and mold our mind. Yeah, begin to shape and mold our mind, whilst Motherland heals the wounds of the flesh and the wounds of the mind. In the healing of the wounds of the mind, Motherland shapes our consciousness, or should I say knowledge of Motherland, of Mother, shapes our consciousness. And when it says shape, I focus your consciousness onto our goal. So we're not as conscious, you know. for the sake of being conscious. We don't just know mother for the sake of knowing mother. We know mother for the sake of doing work, producing something. We've got a purpose, a mission in mind, yeah? And through knowing mother, we will know what that mission is. The knowledge of mother will give us intuitive knowledge of what that mission is. I focus your consciousness onto our goal. I motivate your unrelenting struggle. I energize the failing spirit. Yeah, you know, when you're feeling down and dejected, it's this comforting, mothering energy that will once again rejuvenate and renew. Yeah, you. Yeah, I energize the failing spirit that the brutalities endured on our way will not have been in vain. Yeah, when you're on purpose, when you're on mission, yeah, you understand that there's going to be hardship, but you know those hardships are not going to be in vain, and that inspiration comes from knowing mother. Yeah, believe in me, he says. I am blackness. I am identity. Take me. Yeah. So after all of that, yeah, Motherland, the song that she's singing, yeah, is, not magic. It's not a miracle, but it brings determination. It heals the wounds of the flesh and the wounds of the mind. It focuses our consciousness and motivates our unrelenting struggle. And what that does is that ultimately it gives us a sense of identity. Yes, I am blackness. I am identity. Take me. Know who you are. How can we know who we are if we don't know who our mother is? Yeah, know who you are. So the song of the motherland, fundamentally now, that healing process, the first step, yeah, the first step that we take in that healing process, as a part of going through that healing process, is to know who we are, to reconstitute our identity, to affirm that identity. But what does that identity mean? What does that identity mean? Take me with the joy of knowing that I was always there, at your side, in your heart. Now this is a powerful one, them few lines, yeah, because there's been a lot of conversation that I've seen recently about why our brothers and sisters from the motherland, yeah, didn't come and find us, those Africans who were taken, into the Caribbean, into what became the United States of America, into Europe. Why did they not come for us? Yeah. Now this is motherland coming for us, all right? This is mother coming for us. But is mother just coming for those Africans who were taken? Or is she coming for all of us? Whether, those ancestors who birthed generations on the continent, or those ancestors who birthed generations in the diaspora. She's coming for one or the other, or both. And I think that kind of idea can only really manifest itself in a lack of knowledge of our identity and our collective experience, yeah? Because it presumes that Africans on the continent, were just existing, having a swimmingly beautiful, wonderful, utopian time, whilst the rest of us were just being brutalized across the diaspora. It doesn't take into consideration what was actually taking place, for example. How are communities who are being constantly raided, subjected to conditions of constant battle and warfare, going to amass the resources, yeah? To come across the Atlantic and get their brothers and sisters who are being kidnapped by the thousands and the millions. Do you know what I'm saying? What's that about? And it also discounts the fact that there were many attempts to do so. There were many attempts, yeah, there were mutinies on ships, yeah, attempts to sabotage ships and blow up ships and transport people back to the motherland, yeah. And at different points, principally in the 1800s, brothers and sisters did come, yeah? And maybe in a future episode we'll go into this, but come from the continent to bring their brothers and sisters back home after generations of us being separated, yeah? But motherland is saying, with the joy of knowing that I was always there. We may not have known that. We may not have known that mother was always there. Yeah, what is mother? Mother is not just the land. Mother is the knowledge that comes with that knowing that land, that source. Yeah, that womb that birthed us. Yeah, that I was always there. We may have forgotten, but she was always there. Yeah, where? At your side. And I see that as, in a sense, like, if we look at it literally, at your side, yeah, in the sense of we are all expressions of the motherland. So if we're separated from each other, yeah, then motherland is not with us. But as long as we're together, motherland is with us. Mother is with us, yeah. With the joy of knowing that I was always there at your side, yeah, you were together. As long as you were together, I was there. Even if you forgot, I was there. Yeah, at your side. But even if not at your side, yeah, even if you didn't see, in your heart, yeah, not with the knowledge, of knowing that I was always there, at your side, in your heart. And in a sense, there's a saying, there's two sayings, in fact, that you could take the African out of Africa, but you can't take Africa out of the African. And then there's another saying that I believe it was first pronounced by the Osage-for Kwame Nkrumah that says, I am not African because I was born in Africa. I'm African because Africa is born in me. Wherever we go and wherever we do, yeah, we carry the energy, the vibration, and in a physical sense, the literal sense, the DNA, the genes of our mother with us. So we may not know, yeah, that we're perpetuating the genes, yeah, the DNA of our mother, but we are. And then, nowadays, there's this field of study called epigenetics, yeah, which is basically how genes are not just passed down through physiognomy in terms of the physical features, in terms of the makeup of the body, but also the makeup of the mind, yeah? Another term for epigenetics might be psychogenetic transmission, in the sense of the fact that as much as parents pass down genes that affect physical makeup in terms of how we look and how our bodies function, they also pass down genes in terms of how our minds function, yeah? You know what I'm saying? Psychogenetic transmission or epigenetics. And motherland, we're always perpetuating motherland. And once we become conscious of mother, then we're able to perpetuate mother consciously, yeah? And it says, with the joy of knowing that I was always there, at your side, in your heart, and shout me like a song of defiance from the high hills to the 50th balcony. Let me pause there for a second. I like this symbolism right here. And shout me like a song of defiance from the high hill to the 50th balcony. So shout me like a song of defiance. Defiance against the destruction of the knowledge of mother, the destruction of the self, yeah, in that respect. Because you can't destroy mother without destroying the self, yeah, ourselves. Shout me like a song of defiance. But why? Why? This symbolism here from the high hill. The hill is a feature of nature. Yeah? The hill is a feature of nature. And interestingly, hills and mountains are where we often retreated to when we were fleeing or trying to protect ourselves against foreign invasion all over the diaspora. So we often not hear about maroon communities, yeah, in the Americas. And although many people associate the term maroon with Jamaica, it's very important to note that there were maroon communities not just in Jamaica, but all over the Americas where African people were enslaved. So some of the largest were in Brazil, yeah. You even had maroon communities in the United States of America, little as it's known, yeah. Haiti, yeah, has some powerful maroon communities. And whilst we talk about, the Jean-Jacques Dessalines, the Toussaint Louverture, the Christophe, the Macandal, the Bookman, the Cecile Fatiman, yeah, who were many of the leaders of the revolution in Haiti. Much of this would not have been possible if it wasn't for the so-called maroon yeah, what some of us probably more properly call Kalamante or Yankuno communities, yeah, who came down from the hills and the mountains and fought in that revolution and many of the rebellions that we had across the Americas. But also the hills and the mountains were how we would also transmit messages to each other. Yeah. Oh, I should say though, however, yeah, that the first maroon communities, though, however, so to speak, yeah, were actually on the continent because when these people began to invade, yeah, people used to flee to mountains and hills and form communities. And oftentimes, these communities were made up of Africans from different so-called tribes. So, this impression that they give us, yeah, that, Africans sold each other into slavery. And the principal reason for this was because the tribes were fighting each other. They don't talk about the fact that they were also so-called tribes, yeah, who actually came together, or should I say members, sometimes not necessarily whole entire nations of people, but members of nations of people who fled, yeah, to hills and mountains and hid and formed communities in those hills and mountains, and oftentimes created new social formations that were later called tribes, yeah? You know what I'm saying? But the hill is a feature of nature. It naturally occurs, you know what I'm saying? And in our environment, in our, traditional environment, hills, yeah, provide. There were hills and mountains that had spiritual significance. They were part of the scenery, yeah, of our rural life, yeah. So the hill, in that respect, represents nature. But then it says from the high hill to the 50th balcony, yeah. So now the 50th balcony relates to the urban environments, yeah. We've gone now beyond the direct so-called slavery experience, yeah, straight to the modern day in our urban environment in the UK. And so this is kind of like, it's bringing together the natural occurring with the man-made, the ancient history, yeah, with the modern day, yeah, experience. Yeah, we're, locked in what they call concrete jungle. So, shout me like a song of defiance from the high hills. And I'm saying that the high hill could mean where we are in our rural existence right now, or it could mean the high hill of our history. Yeah? You know what I'm saying? From the high hill to the 50th balcony. The 50th balcony representing our man-made urban environment of the present. But also what struck me is that the high hills is where we used to transmit messages, yeah? Using the abeng or using the drum. So different so-called maroon communities used to communicate with each other by blowing the abeng and upon hills and mountains. And so one community, if they wanted to transmit a message to another community, would go on a mountain and blow the abeng. And they used to communicate like that. So that shout me like a song of defiance here. This is now, if we relate that to the title of the piece, Song of the Motherland, yeah? Song of the Motherland. And the Song of the Motherland, when she sings her song to us, it becomes our song of defiance from the high hill to the 50th balcony. And then, and I don't know this for sure, if this is what Anum Iyapo was dealing with, but when I hear the 50th balcony, and then the next line, amplify me to uncountable wattage, yeah? That brings into mind the sound system, yeah, the sound system that used to minister to the people, the sound system that was one of the central points of creative expression through which people were politicized. You know what I'm saying? People used to learn history gathering around the sound system and hearing the DJ talk, the MC talk. Yeah, the MC used to minister to the political and social environment of the people. Yeah, and it was sound system culture, yeah, that shook up Babylon, yeah, amplify me to uncountable wattage, make Babylon tremble, for I shall not be denied, yeah. So I'm wondering now if when he wrote that, he was actually giving expression to the literal experience of the people at that time, in the sense of whether we knew it or not, we were channeling motherland. We were channeling mother through our creative expression, because we came, yeah, with these big speaker boxes and shook up Babylon, yeah, and disturbed Babylon system, yeah, at that time through not just the word sound, but just the vibration of the music, yeah, shook Babylon. And oftentimes, because we were in these, these urban environments. We did so from the 50th balcony. You know what I mean? So I'm curious to know whether that's the energy that he was that was the intention of the imagery there. Amplify me to uncountable wattage, make Babylon tremble, for I shall not be denied. Then he says, study me. I am black history. I am black culture. Know me. Yeah, very important moment. So we've gone from, the different proclamations, the different calls to know mother. I am black soul. Then we've gone to I am blackness, I am identity. I am black history. I am black culture. Now it's like we're re-knitting. We've got our identity now. What does it mean for what? Yeah, we know what our identity means. We know the purpose of our identity. We know the meaning, the value of our identity by having a thorough knowledge of our history. And from knowing our history, we're able to reconstitute, rememory the culture that the oppressor, the colonizer, the devil attempted to destroy, attempted to deconstruct and dismember. Yeah. Know me, I am black history. I am black culture. Take me. Yeah? Sorry, know me, right? And in that sense, now we're speaking to the intellectual endeavor, the scholarship endeavor of our community, because at this time, as I said, the arts movement was directly related to the Pan-African movement in general, which was full of activists and scholars who were teaching about African culture, teaching about African history. And history relates to the kind of the intellectual knowledge of who one is, but culture is the way of life. Culture is how you apply your knowledge of yourself to how you live every day. Yeah, I am black history. I am black culture. Know me. Know mother. For I am your future. All this has dealt with the past, Yeah, and we've come to the present where we're on the 50th balcony amplifying Motherland, the song of the Motherland, to uncountable wattage. Amplify me. Yeah, amplify this song of the Motherland to uncountable wattage. Why? For I am your future. Motherland is not just our past. Motherland is not just a relic of history. Motherland is not just traditional in the sense of something that is cut off and died and only applicable in some bygone age. Motherland is the future. Motherland is destiny as well as history. I water the flower of your past. I water the flower of your past. We associate flower with beauty. Yeah. With sweet fragrance. Yes. I was your song of unity. Yeah. The motherland, knowledge of the motherland and our connection to the motherland was our song of unity. Why was? Because it is said here by many historians that what the so-called slave trade, the enslavement experience, and I'm going to replace that now with the use of the term ma'afa. And ma'afa is a word in the Swahili language, which means great disaster. My father prefers to refer to the definition as colossal destruction. And Mama Marimba Ani, Mama Marimba Ani has brought this term to our consciousness because she's saying that basically we need words within our own languages that speak to and define our own experiences and reality. And so Ma'afa does this partly because terms like slave trade and even slavery don't truly encompass the experience, that is being referred to. For example, slavery is a term that refers to forced labor specifically, but our experience in enslavement encompasses torture, cultural genocide, physical genocide, mass rape from generation to generation. And even the term torture takes into consideration all kinds of subdivisions of what that means. Do you know what I'm saying? Being dispossessed of land, resources, being robbed of resources, minerals, of cultural artifacts, history, libraries were burnt down in our history. And so Ma'afa is a terminology that refers to all of that, and not just the European experience, in terms of slavery and colonization, but the slavery and colonization under the Arabs also. There's another word term, ma'angamizi, which some say is preferable because it's ma'afa, they say within the language Swahili can relate to any disaster, whereas ma'angamizi speaks to the intentionality, yeah, in the sense of the fact that it was done. This was deliberately done by one people to another group of people, namely ourselves. And so ma'afa and ma'angamizi are two terminologies that are out there that are designed to give expression to the African experience during these periods of time. Yeah. So what the point I was making is that what is said to have happened when Europeans came, when Arabs came before them, Africans were in the process of constituting ourselves according to larger people groups, yeah, across masses of the area of the continent. And so the idea that we were consolidating our smaller people groups into larger mass people groups, that's the process of development that we were at when colonization, first of all, Arab invasion and enslavement kind of fragmented what was once larger people groups, and then European colonization stagnated the Arab expansion in the African continent, but it also continued that process of fragmenting, or stopping the organic growth of larger nation groups on the continent. So when he says, "I was your song of unity," this connection, yeah, to the continent produces what Sheikh Anta Diop calls the cultural unity of Black Africa. So mother is our mother. This is our song of unity. But now you are far flung, mother goes on to say. You are withered and dismembered, but you shall bloom again. Now, I'm relating this to the previous part where he says, "I water the flower of your past, but you shall bloom again." Yeah. Now, obviously, what blooms but flowers, right? So, if Motherland watered the flower of our past, and now she's telling us about you shall bloom again, what she's saying is that with me watering the flower of the past, I'm continuing to do so in the present, and so you blooming shall be the flower of the past for your future generations. Remember, this begins, "For I am your future. I watered the flower of your past. I was your song of unity." And if I was your song of unity in the past, I can be your song of unity in the present. This is why I'm coming to you now. Yes, I was your song of unity. Therefore, I am your song of unity. Yeah, but now you are far flung. Yeah, so you're disunited now. So you need this song, the song of the motherland, to know, yeah, what unity means, what unity looks like, yeah, because you are withered and dismembered, but you shall bloom again. When you bring all these parts together, all these aspects of yourselves together, my children, you shall bloom again. And in your blooming, this is me now watering the flower, continuing to water the flower of the past, because the flower of the present will be the flower of the past for your future generations. Levels. For I am still your song of unity. Not only, yes, I was your song of unity, I am still your song of unity. I am on the horizon of that far look in your eye. I am Kem. I am Kush. I, Ethiopia. I am Songhai. I am Ghana. I am Monomatapa. I, Zimbabwe. I, Al-Kebulan. I am Africa. I am Africa. Take me. So, obviously this part here is giving us knowledge of the various different empires, yeah, that we were building, yeah, pre-colonial empires that we were building, and the great achievements, yeah. It's highlighting these great achievements in terms of reconstituting our sense of self, yeah. So it's gone through Kem, Kush, Merowe, Ethiopia, Songhai, Ghana, Benin, Monomatapa, Zimbabwe, yeah. Then it says Al-Kebulan. Now, the significance of Al-Kebulan, I know there's a lot of debates around Al-Kebulan nowadays and where the name comes from. Some say it's derived from an Arabic term. Some refute that. Some say it derives from the Romans and so on and so forth. The specificity and literal etymology of the term is less important in this context. The reason being is because symbolically, yeah, what the term Al-Kebulan represented to the movement at that time, we're talking about in the 17s and 80s now, because the term Al-Kebulan comes to our consciousness through the research of Baba Yusuf Ben Yochanan. It was brought and taught and significant in the movement at that time as one of the oldest names, the oldest known name. Yeah, not the oldest, but the oldest known name. So it was understood that there were names older, but this was the oldest known name, yeah, for the continent of Africa. And so symbolically, what it represented was Africa prior to invasion, conquest, and slavery. Yes? So I am Al-Kebulan. I am Africa. Africa before invasion, conquest, and slavery. Africa as we know it today. I am both of those things. I am Al-Kebulan. I am Africa. Take me. Yes? So we don't even need to get into that debate about, which is the right name. Just understand, yeah, that I am both of these things and take me. Yes? Claim me. Yeah, come to mother, and then you'll be in a position to redefine and reshape and remold. And then the beautiful line that concludes this piece: with the knowledge that I am undeniably yours. Yeah, repeat that line because we began like that. Mother came to us declaring, yes, that she is undeniably ours. Yes, but what's the last part? And do what? With the knowledge that I am undeniably yours, and free me. It's powerful. The reason why that kind of stays with me is because Mother has come and declared herself to us. She's reintroduced herself to us. She has pledged herself to us. She's showed us that she's always been here. She's demonstrated her value to us. I am identity. I am blackness. I am culture. I am history. Yes? And all these things. This is everything that Mother is giving to us for us to use. And now, what are we going to do with it? With everything that Mother has been giving us over the centuries. What are we going to do with it? Because Mother needs us. Mother has been there for us. Now she needs us. Yes? With the knowledge that I am undeniably yours. And free me. Now we have to take everything that Mother has given to us and free Mama. And in the freeing of Mama, we free ourselves. Yeah? Song of the Motherland by Anum Iyapo. Motherland is not just the land of Africa. Motherland is the people of Africa. Motherland is the culture of Africa. Motherland is the ecology, the minerals, yeah, of Mama Africa. Yeah, and of all those things, I'd like to say that culture is probably the most prominent principle because it's that, yeah, that preserves our liberty, our lifestyle, our way of life. It's that preserves our knowledge of ourselves. It's that puts land and mineral resources and our relationship to each other into context and tells us what that should be and what that should mean. Yeah, Motherland is not just the place. Yes, you know what I'm saying? The 30 million square miles of the African continent. Yeah, it's everything that is symbolic, that comes from that womb of creation. Yes, the civilizations that we developed as a result of our relationship with this land. The culture and the systems of social organizations that we retained, even as we were dispersed from this land. Everything that's preserved and sustained us has come from the extent to which we've been able to retain and evolve what we brought from our relationship with this land. And so this is the song of the Motherland. Yeah, and one of those traditions is the tradition of words artistry, the griot, the jale, yes, and all the other names that we have across the length and breadth of our African experience for this beautiful, powerful role of the poet, the storyteller in our community. Yes, in our community. So I hope ones and ones got something from that. This has been the inaugural episode of the Rise of the Griots WordCast. Our piece of focus for this edition has been Song of the Motherland by Anum Iyapo. Tendamwari, Hotep, Kuzaimazimukuru, Uhuru, Rastafari, African power for all African people. Rise of the Griots WordCast.
Each to their own still, but we must know what is our own. And our own is Africa. And Africa calling us all the time, and it's saying, these words. Like comforting hands, warm, black, sincere, strong to your face, and knowing I am now your strength, soothe your brow. No heavy weight, no wrinkles, no sweat. Know me. I am black soul, take me. Use me like an ointment, I shall pour over your wounds, the wounds of the flesh and the wounds of the mind, the slow healing wounds of Babylon's terrible torture. Know me. I am blackness. I am identity. Take me. With the joy of knowing that I was always there, at your side, in your heart, and shout me like a song of defiance from the high hill, from the 58th balcony, amplify me to uncountable wattage, make Babylon tremble, for I shall not be denied. Know me. For I am your future. I water the flower of your past. I was your song of unity, but now you are far flung, you are withered and dismembered, but you shall bloom again. and you are not denied. For I am still your song of unity, and I am on the horizon of that look in your eye. I am Chem, I am Kush, I am Meroe, I Monomotapa, I Zimbabwe, I Kem, I Alkebulan, I Ethiopia, I Zimbabwe, I'm Africa. I am Africa. Take me. With the knowledge that I am undeniably yours. And from deep, deep within, free me.
Amari, give thanks for that.